Maybe you forgot 89, the most famous comic to ever walk the planet Earth.
Eddie Murphy?
There are a few occasions when one would even think to compare Walt Whitman and Andrew Dice Clay. But the April 10th debut of Dice on Showtime is one of them. Kind of. The great American poet once wrote, "Do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes." And it looks like Dice feels the same way. And that's the near fatal flaw in the 6-episode half-hour autobiographical series.
Look at you, you're back.
While there are some funny bits in Dice, a killer guest appearance, and even a few touching scenes with Dice and his Natasha Leggero-played girlfriend, the fact is the fun and the multitudes that may or may not actually be there end up making up a sparsely attended affair here. Once you get past the much-repeated point that Dice, the prejudicial and foul-mouthed comedian, who was the first in his profession to sell out Madison Square Gardens on 2 nights consecutively back in 1990, and Andrew, the now Vegas-based, kind and sensitive guy from Brooklyn, just trying to make ends meet and have one of those American second acts that F. Scott Fitzgerald dismissed, are not the same persona, well, besides a great turn by a macho method-practicing Adrian Brody as himself in the 2nd episode, there's not much to roll with in the Scott Armstrong-created Dice, but nostalgia and a reminder of just how good Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm was at this self-persona, lack of self-awareness meta-genre. And that's a real shame, because truth be told, I was really hoping that Dice wouldn't come up Snake Eyes.
I play the big role every Saturday night.
Thursday.
Fridays.
Thursday.
Done.
Having had an amazing career resurrection of late with roles in Woody Allen's Blue Jasmine and NBC's The Blacklist and the Martin Scorsese-directed pilot of HBO's Vinyl, the once controversial, to put it mildly, comic and former Crime Story regular has gone 2 steps forward here and 5 steps back. Sort of like when he starred in the flop The Adventures of Ford Fairlane flick back in his glory days. With the first show already up online in preview, Showtime is going to put all half a dozen episodes of Dice on their digital platforms just before the show premieres. And I recommend checking out the Brody appearance in episode 2, and then skimming the rest. Because to quote another poet, Robert Browning, less is more here. I'm Dominic Patton for Deadline Hollywood.